Forex Daybreak podcast, where we trade the Forex market with you. Entry, target, exit, and stop loss levels are covered when we walk you through every trade made in the show. 5% of Forex traders are profitable, and you can be among the winners. If you wish to find out profitable trade signals in the Forex market, Forex Daybreak is the show for you. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning and welcome to episode 93. Forex pairs in this episode are EURUSD. We have more complex wave structure and we are trying to figure out what is the next move EURUSD will make. Euro pound, we see the development in euro pound and try to figure out what to expect next from this pair. And euro Canadian dollar, same here, the wave structure has gotten more complex and we try to figure out what is in the future in euro Canadian dollar. It is recommended that you will learn to read the market yourself and not just blindly enter trades based on my signals or from any other signal provider. I will not take responsibility from your trading losses or credit from your profits. Okay, that said, let's start this episode. EURUSD, we have more complex wave structure formed. So yesterday we tried to trade this pair to the downside, but now we have overlap between the waves 1 and 4, which most likely are not waves 1 and 4. We have a 3-wave structure. Let's draw it here. So we have a 3-wave structure to the downside from the peak of the 4th wave, or what now has been labeled as wave 4, minus wave 4. And we have advanced beyond the point of the first wave peak, or which was yesterday labeled as first wave. So now I see few options. We are the most likely option is that we are still forming the minus wave 4 correction, maybe a triangle formation. We have a support level down here. We might be forming a triangle or double tree or even triple tree correction. So we might expect a move to the upside near 110.5 towards the upper part of this trend line. Or we might even be forming a 1 degree larger correction. We might still be even in the intermediate wave B correction. So at this point, quite hard to say what is the case here. This 110.87 level will be critical for this wave count. Remember that this is the minus wave 1 low. So if we violate this level, move beyond 110.87, and then we have a different wave count on larger degree. So at this point, hard to say what to expect. I would say that we are forming a triangle or some type of sideways correction on minus wave 4 position. So we are now forming minus wave 4 in my opinion. If we decline below this 1082 level, it's likely that the wave count I have now is correct and we can expect more downside. But I won't trade this pair right now. This is very unclear. The wave structure has gotten more complex and we can expect a continuation of this minus wave 4 correction and more sideways range between 110.5 and 182, I would say. If we get nice upwards move, get resistance on this 110.5 level, then perhaps there's a good opportunity to trade the next leg at least down to 108 to 108.5 levels. So let's look for that opportunity. But at this point I wouldn't trade this to the upside since there is hardly any structure to confirm other than the overlapping of the waves. But at this point, since we have a 3-wave structure to the downside, we can expect more upside and we are more likely to continue the correction than to see a more impulsive structure to the downside. All right, let's move on to pound dollar. So not much progress has been made in pound dollar. We are still more or less hovering around the lower part of this wedge-shaped trend line or wedge-shaped formation. The trend line I have in my charts is connecting the lows. So 148.86 is now the price, and around 149 has been a very tight range. So same here, very unclear wave structure. Maybe we can expect another move towards the upper part of this trend line if there's going to be more dollar weakness. So no trading opportunities in pound dollar, neither in my opinion. Let's see how this develops. If we get more upside, perhaps we can then conclude that we can expect to move towards the upper part of this trend line and trade this next move higher. Okay, let's move on to euro pound. So today is more or less of an analysis day, nothing to trade in my opinion. Also, I'm getting ready for the small Christmas break, so perhaps it is wise not to open any trades during the Christmas break. Okay, so euro pound, we have had upwards move like I yesterday talked a little bit about. So the price action that was more or less on a sideways range was forming a triangle shape or sideways a pattern that next move should be expected to go to the upside. So this is what we get or got yesterday. 0.733 is the price right now. Hard to say at this point if we get a little bit more upside. If we start to approach 0.749 level, then perhaps there is also a revision to be made into this wave count. So the price structure, wave structure in euro pound is also a little bit hard to figure out. My preferred count is proposing that we are forming minor wave 2 correction and next larger move should be to the downside. But since we have also made new highs on euro USD, perhaps there is a similar structure here forming. So we might be still forming the larger degree correction. So if we take a look at this on a little bit larger perspective, let's zoom out. So I have labeled intermediate wave B has ended on the peak of 0.7492, and the price action right now might be proposing that we are still forming this intermediate wave B correction. So this is what I was meaning on Euro USD when I was saying that we might be forming even one larger degree correction still. So there is also a minor wave B, a peak made previously on 117 high. So perhaps there's a correlation between these two pairs and we are still forming the larger correction, and then we might expect a more upside, even a break above the 0.7492. We haven't made any, if you can see here, the previous wave X low. We have a support level here, so we haven't made any important new lows on this pair on euro pound. So perhaps the wave structure here is not impulsive waves 1 and 2, but still a more complex corrective intermediate wave B. So let's keep an eye on this pair. If we see a lot more upside on this pair, then a revision is needed, and we are still forming 1 degree larger correction, so intermediate wave B. All right, let's see briefly Euro Canadian dollar. Yesterday we made a new high as well in Euro Canadian. We have declined slightly from that high. 152.14 is now the price. And we can also zoom out in Euro Canadian to see the larger structure. So I have now connected the previous low as the lower part of the triangle. So also if we get more upside, more euro strength and start to approach the 155 level, then we are more likely than not forming the E part of this large triangle. So we can see the 155.6 has labeled as intermediate wave C. So then these two waves would be the next legs of the triangle. I haven't labeled those yet. I just drew this line on the lower part of the triangle before recording this podcast. But if we start to approach the 155 level, the previous low has been the D part, the D leg of the triangle. So intermediate wave degree, wave D would be down here near 140. And that would mean that the next larger move is to the downside, and we can expect then a move below the 140 support line, and one larger degree corrective phase would begin once we reach the upper part of this triangle. So quite interesting developments on the euro pairs. So there might be an extended strength in euro. We might see more euro strength in the coming days and weeks, and we might be needing a revision on a few pairs. So let's see how these pairs develop. If we see, like I said, if we see more upside in this pair, start to approach the 155 level, and then this leg will form the last part of this large triangle. And then when the reversal happens, we can expect even more downside than was expected on this preferred or current wave count I have right now. I'm not going to label or change the labels right now, since there's still a chance that if we see more downside, start to decline, see an impulsive structure to the downside, then this wave count I have right now can still be correct, and we can then expect one more leg out of this triangle. So this would then only be the D leg we are forming now. But if we start to approach 155, the D leg is most likely formed already on the low of this previous low near 140, and once the reversal happens, then we can expect much larger decline out of this pair. Okay, that's all for today. Visit the show notes at ForexDayBreak.com/93, and let me remind you that you can get this video analysis, daily trading signals, weekly future trades video, books, and access to my trading system when you subscribe to my basic membership. Membership fee is only $10 a month, and I have a 14-day free trial for you to test out my service. You can cancel with one click, so this is truly a risk-free offer. Go to ForexDayBreak.com/basic and sign up today. More trades tomorrow, happy trading, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.ForexDayBreak.com. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.